Hello everybody, welcome back to Language, Litigation, and Integration Part 47, Casual Conversations 13. Today we're going to be doing some current events, just talking about some stuff in the news, some podcasts I've been watching. Talk about there's a big breakthrough in scientific revolutions. If you saw PBS Space Time, there might be some new paper on what dark matter might be. Even though we're on lecture like, I don't know, 150. So you should check that out. Big breakthrough. Dark matter's not real. Who would have thunk it? But even bigger than that. Bigger news than that, everybody. No, I need my proper attire for this video. So there's been a breakthrough in the innovations of the leagues of academia. The smartest people that have ever walked on this planet, the most profound and gifted intellectual scientific researchers that the world has ever known, are building a new university. It's called the University of Austin, Texas, and it's being founded by many profound intellectuals. So if you check out their website at uaustin.org, the University of Austin, their mission statement: we're building a university dedicated to the fearless pursuit of truth. So, and it says, we are done waiting for the legacy universities to write themselves, and so we are building anew. Building anew, nice verbiage. Pano Canelos, founding president of the University of Austin. The founding trustees is Pano Canelos, former president of St. John's College, Annapolis, Maryland. Neil Ferguson will be talking about a breathtakingly intellectual conversation he's had with Lex Friedman in the past couple days. He's an historian. He's a great historian. He's from the Hoover Institute at Stanford. Again, Stanford is one of those schools I could not get into. I just was not smart enough. I applied at the early action choice, Neil. So Scottish cunt. Didn't know you such a cunt, lad. We have Barry Weiss, journalist and author. Another breathtaking intellectual, Heather Haying, evolutionary biologist and best-selling author. Joe Lonesdale, CEO of HVC, founder of Planeteer. I see that shit on CNBC a lot. Still not really sure what that company does. We have board of advisors, Arthur Brooks, Ayan Hirsi, Ali, Glenn Loury, Robert Zimmer, Steven Pinker, another intellectual from Harvard. He's from Harvard. Write that down, he's from Harvard. Nadine Strozen, Lex Friedman, another breathtaking intellectual. John Nunes, Dorian Abbott, Shohrab Hamari, Jonathan Haidt, that's an interesting name. Leon Koss. You get the point. Do I know anybody else? Recognize anybody else? No. But the point is we have gone. Remember, I can only say the correct analogy so many times. The path of most pathetic. We have universities. We have 9% maybe on a good day investor maturity, basically meaning people have developed enough, thought about their lives enough, have personal growth enough to be like basically mature, which is clearly not true. I was just watching a YouTube the other day. Go YouTube it. It's some 30-year-old dude. It says, I wasted my 20s. And just talking about how he's egotistical, wasted his 20s, wanted to impress people, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's, again, it's true because it's been true. The funny thing is I've been saying this stuff before it happened, while it happened, it's still happening, and I'll still be saying it after it happens because it'll be still happening. But you see in Neil Ferguson, he was on Lex Friedman's podcast, he's talking about somehow he knows Peter Thiel and Eric Weinstein, the managing director of Peter Thiel Capital. They're talking about how every statement they made in their 20s was insufferable, was just you can't tolerate it. Yeah, because again, I can only say the right answer so many times. Society is stagnated. Now these people, instead of clicking publish It doesn't matter which building you're in. If you have personal intellectual curiosity, learning is individual. Innovation is individual. Light bulb moments are individual. And so, instead of just clicking publish on Brad's paper on the internet, on the archive, on a university that exists right now, now we're going to go through the path of most pathetic, and we're going to found an entire new university. We're just going to break through. We're going to break through to a new university. It's going to be the same people. The same cancer that caused the problem cannot fix it. And so, again, literally people who say that this traditional academic system is broken, and it's not the academic system, it's the journalists, it's the news stations, it's the individuals, it's every private company, it's every university, it's every government, it's anybody with over 10,000 YouTube subscribers. But now, instead of just clicking publish on our computers, we are going to build a new university. And so immediately I posted up on LinkedIn a notarized offer, if you wanted, of $1 million to Heather Haying, one of the founding principals or trustees of the new university, just to give a lecture. Just say, hey, maybe an hour, hour and a half, give you a lecture. Here's like 13 empirical proofs as fast as you want them. And so I figure like that's a good deal for a company or for a university whose founding mission is to the unfettered pursuit of truth, and we're going to think anew. And did I get a response in a day? Nope. But they have a donate page. You can donate some money to their shithole university if you'd like to. Can't give a lecture for $1 million though. It's still not interesting. So let me just talk about some current events of the people founding this university and just other podcasts I've been listening to. And maybe some stories at the end. So the first conversation I kind of want to talk about just some basic biology. Again, Heather Haying is the evolutionary biologist that's a trustee of this new University of Boston. And she is a co-host of the Dark Horse podcast on Brett Weinstein's YouTube channel, or the darkhorsepodcastchannels.com. Something like that. I don't know. Just check it out. But so I'm just watching this shit. Again, they just do a podcast. It's just her and Brett Weinstein talking. But the two things that really stuck out were, again, talking about the vaccines. The first thing was she's kind of reacting to the conversation of Tim Collins, who was a former director of the National Institute of Health, and he was on Lex Friedman's podcast. And she's reacting to, she goes basically paraphrasing something to the effect of, Tim Collins says, you can get vaccines, socially distance, and, wear a mask to, that's basically all the things you can do to prevent COVID. And she's just like, oh my goodness, can I swear on this podcast? Can I swear on this great Dark Horse super podcast? And Brett's like, obviously, sure, the kids are in bed, just let loose. And she starts talking about how, there's obviously clearly other things, like get vitamin D, aka go on walks, be in the sun. Being in the sun's more productive than having a supplement. I'm sure there's efficiency for both. Or efficacy, probably is more the correct word there. But just obviously, completely, obviously Tim Collins could have suggested exercise, sleeping, eating good foods, basic nutritional things. But yes and no. Not like you're not gonna prevent COVID or stop COVID or substantially mitigate the effects of contracting any disease by exercising within 2 weeks. COVID's out there, I'm gonna go exercise for 6 months. Or 2 years, or whatever. The cellular health time frames, again, damaging extended negligence 7 to 10 years, passing on damaged genome. That's really the effect. So here I am as an evolutionary biologist, again, burst into laughter as, certainly you should have good cellular health, but it's more of a 7 to year time frame thing. And so if you're not exercising and eating healthy and properly, for the past 3, 5, 7, 10 years, Cellular Health is not really, you're not going to change that very quickly. And so that was just odd and strange. And again, I agree, Tim Collins and Dr. Fauci can eat 30 million dicks. The CDC is completely incompetent. And then you have Joe Rogan, another, again, breathtaking, intellectual, hardworking influencer in the world. You know, he didn't take the vaccine because he's retarded. And then him and Ben Shapiro, again, obviously another breathtaking intellectual. He wears his yarmulke very well. And they're talking about effective treatments as a way to say that's a better idea than prevention. Yeah, man, let's get a disease, and as long as we can cure it quickly, there's no reason not to get the disease. The purpose of the vaccine is to stop transmission. That is where consent stops. And so, cool, we get healed well, but did you transmit it to somebody? Did you expose it to somebody? Those are untrackable data points for a large majority of them. And so you see Joe Rogan and Ben Shapiro like agreeing, like, oh yeah. And then, again, remember, Heather Hang, Joe Rogan, Ben Shapiro, we're all going to laugh at the completely incompetent idiots of Tim Collins or whoever the fuck we're laughing at. And you just opened your mouth and just vomit word salad all over your own fucking professional life. Like, I'm going to do some science. Another Heather Hang quote, she said in one of the episodes, her and Brett Weinstein were, proto-scientists. They're not really scientists yet. If you ever thought about saying, I wasted my 20s, or I wasted this amount of time, it's like saying, yeah man, I just shot up an orphanage, and then I didn't murder people for like 5 years, so therefore I'm not a murderer. It's like, no. You kind of committed academic fraud for like 15 to 20 years, because it was just what everyone was doing, and now we're going to build a new university. A literally new university, or you could click publish on my fucking paper. There's been a fucking enormous amount of logical proofing on the internet that people just don't understand. And I told you to buy bitcoins at this time, and I'm sure you fucking retards didn't buy bitcoins at this time. And so it's like, we're gonna protect our kids. There's another quote, she's like, I'll take the mRNA vaccine, but don't get that thing near my kids. Which is, as a consumer, as a person, it'd be cool if they described the pathology difference between an mRNA vaccine and whatever the normal vaccine is. But it's exposure and tolerance. That's just simple biology. And so we have Joe Rogan and Ben Shapiro clearly talking about how, again, as long as quick treatments, there's no clear societal advantage to prevention, which obviously is fucking retarded. Let me make sure I'm still rolling. And so also in the Ben Shapiro, Joe Rogan conversation, because again, remember, Ben Shapiro is a political on the right team. He's on the Republican team, has to move to a red state, just completely fucking retarded. Basically, Republicans, again, equates to saying freedom and then having no literally understanding of law, science, reason, logic, proofing, basically just anything. And so they start talking about abortion, and again, Ben Shapiro, again, save the babies, save the kids, save all lives matter. In reality, no lives matter. Again, that's my real political stance. And so, like for real, from a species standpoint, from, again, when the main character syndrome when you're a teenager, when you make a YouTube video saying, I wasted my 20s, that's because you're so fucking egotistical and selfish. You can't think of it from a species level. A bunch of monkeys on a rock flying around. No lives matter that much. No individual does, not one bit. But that's kind of like the sentiment of where, the unborn baby matters more than the mother. Legally, biologically, abortion is legal. Period. End of fucking story. The mother's life matters more than the child. The sentience of the fetus, it does not equate to overriding the sentience, the awareness of the mother 0% of the time. So certainly 100% early term abortion is legal. The only reason I don't say late term pregnancy is legal, because just make a fucking decision. So 100% agrees, sex has the consequences. Again, I wouldn't know, I don't get to do the sex, but 100% agree you should be more responsible and have no fucking sympathy for reckless behavior in any context. But from a practical standpoint, from a biological standpoint, from a moral standpoint, from a legal standpoint, abortion is fucking legal. And the only reason I'd be against late stage abortion is because make a fucking decision. But then you have Ben Shapiro again, the rights of the child. The child rights are proportional to sentience. Rights are proportional to consent. A child that is biologically dependent on a mother is not making any consentful decisions. Zero. And so it's kind of like the Republican, shoot the guns, the freedoms, the no abortions, all kids matter, illiterate monkeys. And then you have the Democrats, retarded, also again, retarded monkeys. I have no political affiliation. Politics is for extremely deficient monkeys. I can only say that so many times. Those were kind of the points from the Ben Shapiro conversation with Joe Rogan. And then Ben Shapiro again. Ben, buddy, why did you move out of Los Angeles? Because all those homeless people shooting the heroin and taking a dumps on the side of the road. So what if those people were aborted? And again, I'm not talking like being violent or any way to homeless people, but from a practical standpoint, if a mother can't raise a child, there's a more likely chance that he or she is going to end up in homelessness, addicted to something, blah, blah, blah. And so from a societal standpoint, again, from a biological standpoint, from any practical standpoint, there's your hypocrisy, Ben. We don't want homelessness, but we also don't want population control in any meaningful, consentful, reasonable way. So have a wonderful evening, Ben. You are remaining to be one of the weirdest fucks ever. Neil Ferguson and Lex Friedman's conversation, again another founding member of this brand new university that's going to do dick fucking nothing. Until you change the sentiment of the species, doesn't matter what buildings you're in, doesn't matter what your mission statement is, doesn't matter how many high-flying intellectuals sign up on your board of trustees. But, again, I've already talked about why Lex Friedman's retarded. He's going to build a bigger AI system for nicer comments for love and unity and kumbaya. And Neil Ferguson, he's a historian, and in his conversation, the first thing that struck me is just bonkers. He starts talking about like the first universities being in Germany in like the 1916s, like the beginning of the World Wars. And the first, again, like he could be referencing something else, just maybe Germany's ascent to power with universities, but without any references. Let me check my notes again. The first major historical university was the University of Paris in 1200. So we have another breakthrough historian just quoting random shit. And again, I could be wrong about something, but I listened to the whole conversation. Shit fired me up. I was like, who the fuck is Neil? Again, Danae, is a cunt. But anything else in that conversation with Neil and Lex? Again, just the idea of founding a new university besides hitting publish on a piece of paper is just mind-numbing. Oh, and another thing with Ben Shapiro conversation, Joe Rogan, talking about making it equal for math. Do I think tests in school? I don't think they're good nor bad. I don't think it's a pivotal thing. Doesn't need to be banned. Doesn't indicate much. College is certainly a fucking waste of time. How do you grade schooling? Again, just personal projects. In learning with a group of your peers, and where's your output? You tell me what that output looks like. Is it a song? Is it a lecture? Is it a YouTube? Is it a presentation? And just get people to fucking think and to speak independently. And that's how you grade something. Testing could be okay some places. California banning gifted programs I think is fucking stupid. I don't think they're super important, but I think that's, again, trying to levelize the fucking field is just retarded. Again, I went to the AP tests. I was in the gifted programs for whatever they were in my school, and that still didn't do anything for me. It fucked me up also in the opposite way. But eliminating the programs, I think, could stifle some ambition, so I think that's bad overall. But I get testing, neutral. Gifted programs, neutral. Banning them, I think, is bad. Abortion's legal. And now we have a new breakthrough university. So I'm going to end with a couple other stories about these wonderful universities that already exist. So just a couple stories to finish up. Here's the first one I'll tell is because I've referenced I flew out to California to Heather Haynes married to Brett Weinstein. Brett Weinstein's the brother of Eric Weinstein, who's the managing director of Peter Thiel's Money. And in 2017, again, it was like, was Einstein wrong, or what's the next thing for science? Again, a video directly, clearly about my research. Again, I've been doing this shit for 5 years directly. Everyone knows what the fuck I'm doing. And so I go, okay, why the fuck would I not fly out to fucking fat Eric Weinstein's office and say, where the fuck is my money? Seems like a very reasonable thing to do. And so, the time I was living in Philadelphia, like I said, this was the last, I referenced like the last time I hung out with a single friend, which was my friend, old friend Jimmy. But he lived really close, worked in San Francisco, close to Peter Thiel's office. So I was like, this dude owes me fucking $12 million. He manages a fund worth $4 billion. Where the fuck is my money? I'm gonna go out and find out where the fuck my money is at. And so I book a flight, go out to San Francisco, hang out with my buddy Jimmy, hang out with some girls, go do this, go do that, whatever. But I go to Peter Thiel's office to say, basically, where the fuck is my money? You just made a video about talking about my research. And I've also referenced that Eric Weinstein's been clearly on Lex Friedman's podcast saying, we'll go to jail if we talk about Brad's human rights. If we talk about Brad's research, we're going to build a new university, but if we talk about Brad's research, we're going to jail by all the fucking criminals in the governments that are going to go to jail. And so, go into, again, to some office, the Palisades, San Francisco, Peter Thiel, Fag Boy Pete. Go into the Palisades, and I was with my brother. My brother wanted to come along. And so, go into the office, there was some beaner-ass fucking Mexican pendejo, and he's just fucking the security guard. I've been an unarmed security guard. I think he was unarmed, but a security guard, just a little fucking dude, go fuck yourself type of guy. And go in there and basically say, because Eric Weinstein messaged me back. I told him I was going to come out, and he said, huh? On LinkedIn. Like, he messaged me directly back on LinkedIn. And the reality is Eric just likes to get free messages from a scientist because, well, we're not going to respect his rights, but we're so pathetic and such a fucking loser-ass piece of shit. If he's going to message us, I'll at least listen to that because, well, it's historical and it's interesting and it's science and it's fun. We're not going to pay him his money, we're not going to respect his family, we're going to destroy his family, we're going to neglect him to the point it doesn't fucking matter, but we'll still take some entertainment if it comes to us personally. And so I'm basically, I just go into his office, like the meeting area, and tell the guy at the front desk, I have a meeting with Eric Weinstein, call him, he'll know what I'm talking about. And the little bean dip worthless security guard, sits there for 5 minutes uncomfortable, and again, I'm literally just sitting in the waiting room with my brother. The security guard asked me, is Eric in today? And I said, yeah. I don't know, but he was fucking in, obviously, go fucking eat a dick. And the security guard, basically says he's not going to take your meeting, and you should do the more professional avenues. The more professional avenues was the exact type of phrasing he told to me. Which is like what? I messaged him on LinkedIn, I was going to come to his office, he responded, huh, after making a video directly describing my research. He manages a $4 billion fund, and I'm at $12 million. I live on $35,000 a year. A lot of that goes to maintaining my websites, this fee, that fee, this type of shit. And so I'm literally living on the poverty line, basically. It's $35,000 a year with a kid's poverty line. I have no children, but most of another $10,000, $12,000 goes to managing and trying to start a fucking business. And the fucking beaner ass worthless security guard tells me I should be more professional. Quasars. So I just fucking, it's worthless. Because again, this is world governments. You can't fucking flex on these people. There's nothing you can fucking do. They either can respect your life or you will be fucking tortured until the day you fucking die. That's a fucking fact. And so I'm with my brother, literally just walk out. And my brother, of course, has to get one of those 20-year-old again. I wasted my 20s type of fucking shit. Puts his arm around me, like, cheering me up and says, can I give you some advice? Like, don't get mad. Like, don't get mad. I have my rights violated. I can't live my life. And there is no chance I can start a family, go on a single fucking date until people publish my paper because how profoundly scapegoated I have been. And so I go from getting shit on by some cunt with managing a $4 billion fund who Peter Thiel again underinvested in Bitcoin, eat a fucking dick, go fucking wear your ASICs, you fucking faggot. And then my brother's gonna be like, oh, don't be mad that you have no rights, no life, no human experience, no decency, no respect, no ability to eat food, no ability to pay your bills. But don't get mad at these people. Don't do it. Don't do it. And so that was the time I went to try to collect my money at Eric Weinstein's place. Now a couple more stories. So again, at the same time frame, I flew out 2017 sometime when I lived in Philadelphia, and Philadelphia is literally 40-minute drives from New Jersey, and that's right where the Institute for Advanced Studies, Ed Witten's at. I've been emailing Ed Witten 4 or 5 straight years, every single day, empirical fucking logical proofs. And so I figure again, why the fuck would I not go to the Institute of Advanced Study, who's literally stealing, fraudulently distributing my information, feeding their children with stolen property, and saying, well, Brad Smart, who fucking cares, like literally every other group of human beings I've literally ever been exposed to. But you know what? It's my fucking right. I'm going to try to fucking, again, collect my property, or again, just get a piece of paper that says, maybe in this amount of time, have a nice day. But of course not. These people are fucking criminals. They will steal from you. They will feed their family with that stolen property, and then they'll say, fuck you. And so, live in Philadelphia, go to the Institute for Advanced Study, literally walk into the front office place, and there's some receptionist. You drive into the place, and then you see, not Hilbert, you see Gödel Way, and you see Weinstein Way, again, 2 people I've just absolutely dicked on academically in profoundly hilarious fashion. You see these great intellectuals go into the fucking building, and there's just some, again, worthless cunt secretary who, again, can't feed her family, so she has to take names as a secretary. She can't innovate, she can't contribute anything to the world. So she just fucking flicks her pussy and fucking writes down names at some worthless science institute. And I basically just say, do you know how I am? And again, that can sound arrogant, but again, when you send a math proof, which again, a profound math proof, I mean, proofs on proofs on proofs, you know people know who the fuck you are and know what you've done. Like, certainly at a fucking university like this, or they don't have like students, they have like grad students only. But the worthless fucking secretary takes my name down, clearly again, doesn't do anything. The world governments are murdering their own citizens. I don't give a fuck. The fastest descendant species, change is better, who cares? But the worthless world governments have told these people they can't respect their own mission statements, their own creeds, their own laws, their own objectives. Some other fucking middle-aged cunt who's stolen a bunch of property and getting paid from a university that's stolen my property comes over to me and says, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. There's going to be times in history when people are going to say, what the fuck? Asking me to leave a physics university? At that time I had a $250,000 offer to talk about my research. Today it's $1 million notarized offer if you'd like that. But I'm going to have to ask you to leave. And so whoever was the accountant or whoever the employee of IAS is, I'll deal with you then. We walk outside, and word for word the conversation goes like this. I go, hey man, can I at least just ask you a question? He goes, oh yeah, sure. Again, just like Eric Weinstein likes to get free fucking interactions, and steal my shit, harass me, neglect me, no one gives a fuck. And then the guy, I say, hey man, can I ask you a question? Oh yeah, sure. What you gonna say? And I say, what would you say to another human being that is destroying your family? And he just pauses for a second, goes, I don't know. To which I immediately respond, I don't know either. And I just fucking leave. Because it's true.
neglecting publication of my research, neglecting paying me some money, neglecting putting on a little bit of money in my mailbox, truly destroyed my relationship with my mother. And well, now it's just destroyed my relationship with everybody, and I have no fucking friends, no life, no ability to fucking change. So that was the time I went to a fucking accredited university where Ed Whitten, the guy I email, literally every single fucking day, collecting free fucking science, learning free fucking shit, thinking, all of that stuff, works at. But nope, we can destroy your family and will confidently say, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. I'm gonna put you out of fucking business. That's a motherfucking fact. And so, one other story, Ken Ono, again, the same time in Philadelphia. And I get online to try to, because again, when you solve a certain problem, you're supposed to contact the experts of that field. Unbeknownst to me, there are no experts in any fucking field. There's just a bunch of fucking careerist criminals just doing whatever the fuck they need to do to get another paycheck, another grant, and they're all incompetent about literally fucking everything that matters. Get online, and I see, trying to figure out, who's the mathematicians that do anything, and Ken Ono and Manjul Bhargava come up for hosting this thing called like the Next Ramanujan Channel, or the Next Ramanujan Challenge. And it had like just finished about the time I figured out what was going on. And I'm sitting there just like hilarious, in complete hilarity, laughing. Here, they're literally hosting the Next Ramanujan Challenge search. As at the same time, my old professor Samir Mathur is literally on Brian Greene's World Science Festival stage talking about black holes incorrectly. They're looking for the next Ramanujan, and then I email Ken Ono saying, holy fuck, this is the guy I probably should contact, because he said he's a number theorist. I sent him the proof of the Riemann hypothesis, and he says you should contact the experts on this problem. What? Contact a number theorist, and he says you should contact the experts on the Riemann hypothesis? Dumbfounded. Stomach drops. We will literally host a contest for the next Ramanujan, and I will send you a proof, and you'll say, oh, well, email somebody the fuck else. So, again, ask around, ask my email, ask these stupid fucks. $1 million for a lecture at any university. All you have to do is publish it on your social medias. Thank you for watching Language Litigation and Integration Part 47, Casual Conversations 13.